favorite TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Monday morning digest. Today is the 4th day of March 2022. The year is rolling by, and I welcome you to join us for this amazing conversation. Once again, Monday morning. As you know, we focus on a number of areas, especially business, enterprise, amazing ideas in the marketplace. And today I'm joined by a very good gentleman. He's called Danielton. Mwaka. He's a Business Mentorship Society Chair, and he's here, or he is here. We are here to talk about mentorship, business mentorship. I trust that as you join this conversation, you're going to enjoy this conversation, and I believe you're going to learn a lot. So please remember to share with your friends. Let everybody come along, and we get this conversation underway. So welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thank you, Pastor Gigi. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I think when we connected, I thought that this is a conversation we need to have.
Absolutely.
Especially, when it comes to mentoring business, business mentorship. As you know very well, in our nation, there is a very big push, obviously, for those who can't find formal jobs, then to pursue some kind of business, self-employment, and all that. And then, of course, it comes with the challenge of not everybody has the skills to run their own businesses. So I think this is the real reason behind this conversation. And I believe that you're going to give us as much insight as possible. So those of you who are in the marketplace, let's get talking about business mentorship. What kind of a business person are you? Do you have the right skills? Are you properly mentored? And are you succeeding? Are you failing? So we're going to jump into that. So let's start from where I always like starting. Give us your little bit of a story, your background, introduce ourselves to our audience, and then we can get the business mentorship conversation underway.
Wonderful. Thank you, amazing viewers. I'm excited to be in this show. And Elevate TV, you're doing a great job. I've been to some events, and because I'm a marketing enthusiast, I see a lot of visibility. So your marketing team is doing a good job.
Okay.
My name is CPA Danielton Mwaka. So I am a co-finance person in training.
Okay.
I'm also a certified credit professional. But my love is in marketing. I found love in marketing.
Okay.
I'm a former banker.
Okay.
So after a while I worked in banking and then shifted to marketing, training, lecturing.
Okay.
I lecture at the university. I'm a professional coach, and I'm a business mentor.
Okay.
The first maybe thing I should say is why mentorship in the first place, especially business mentorship.
Okay.
If you look at humanity generally, there are two ways of learning. Everyone needs to learn.
Right.
And we have been told there are cliches in the place. But there are two main ways of learning.
Right.
One of the ways you hear people say, we learn through experience.
Okay.
But experience is not it. Because experience means pain, trying this. If it fails, then you realize you need to do something else.
Okay.
So there is a better way of learning.
Okay.
That better way of learning is mentorship or instruction.
Okay.
So In fact, one man says the fools learn through experience because they have to experience everything. But if you want to learn fast,
yes,
you learn through mentorship.
Okay.
There is a principle that we learned in physics. It's called the principle of leverage.
Okay.
It began by a man called Archimedes.
Yes.
You know, it's the principle that we use to when you want to change your tire.
Yes.
You know the jack
Yes.
that you use.
Yes.
It's a small thing.
Yes.
But because it has been threaded and the technology in it has been done so well, it can lift a big car.
Yes.
So what mentorship gives you, you leverage on other people's knowledge.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
You leverage on other people's successes. There is someone who has done well.
Mm-hmm.
So they can tell you, this is the way to go. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Yes.
you will not have to learn it yourself. You have got a shortcut.
Wonderful. I like that. I mean, off the bat, you're already beginning to give us very wonderful insight. I like the laying out the principle that fools learn through experience,
Yes.
but
The wise people.
You know, the wise people actually seek instruction.
Yes.
And I think that is exactly what even the Bible actually does say. You know, the book of Proverbs, I think chapter 4, where Solomon is calling upon Lemuel to pay attention to instruction. So so you can learn through experience. It's the school of hard knocks. You make a lot of mistake. It can be very expensive, but actually mentorship is actually a shortcut. And I think that's very amazing because I think people don't take mentorship very seriously. It feels like a bit patronizing and all that. And people say, well, I can't find the right mentors and stuff like that. Okay, wonderful.
Interestingly, sorry to interject, but interestingly,
yes,
since you mentioned the Bible,
yes,
in my view, I realize that the central theme
yes,
of the Bible
right,
is mentorship.
Okay.
Through and through.
yes,
It comes in through all, when you see in Genesis,
yes,
the Garden of Eden,
yes,
God says, you will become fruitful. You should become fruitful, go subdue the earth, multiply.
Yes.
But he says, so that you achieve that, there is a framework.
right,
Stay in this garden. Adam, do this. A, B, C, D. Don't
Right.
touch this. Don't
Yes.
eat this.
Yes.
That is a mentorship framework.
yes,
He introduces another player in the person of Eve.
Yes.
And he says, Adam, I've already mentored you.
yes,
Now you are a mentor.
Right.
So God does not give instructions to Eve.
yes,
He says, now Adam, mentor. So
Okay.
Adam is the mentor of Eve.
right,
In fact, the mistake we call the fall of man
yeah,
is a failure of mentorship because Eve changed her mentor from Adam to someone else.
Yes.
She began getting frequency from another place.
yes,
If you jump into the New Testament, Jesus comes to the scene.
okay,
And when he comes to the scene, he has his disciples. And number one, the things that he tells them,
Yeah.
follow me,
yes,
and I will make you.
all right,
Mentorship.
yes,
When he's leaving the scene, he tells them, this matter is very serious.
Yes.
So you cannot survive without a mentor. So
Right.
what you're going to do, freeze everything
yes,
until I have a replacement.
Yes.
There is a replacement of a mentor coming.
Yes.
Another one like me, what you theologians call in Greek, allos parakletos.
yes,
So there is another one. And then he establishes a framework, says this new mentor is work to comfort, to teach, to tell you all things, guide you into all truth. So through and through,
Yes.
the Bible is about mentorship.
Wonderful.
So humanity, the blueprint for humanity is one that God intended mentorship to work.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I think that's very good. The ground is very well laid. So I think we can then go and talk about the business mentorship society
Yes.
in Kenya, the history, the founding, what you guys do, who are your partners, who do you work with. So take us through that so that then we can know how, in fact, what inspired you to get into business. How was it founded? Yes.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, there was a gap. There is still a gap in our marketplace
Yeah.
of mentorship. There are people with very beautiful ideas,
Right.
but those ideas never find the light of day.
Okay.
That is at the SME level. There are people who are working, they're thinking, oh, I have this idea, but how do I actualize it?
Okay.
Because we have three tiers. That is the SME level. At colleges and universities level. In fact, there's a sad story.
Right.
If today, and I want our viewers to hypothetically try it.
Yes.
If you sit with the ordinary business graduate,
okay,
business graduate,
yes,
prime time news
yes,
at 9,
yes,
Citizen TV or whichever other, and Prime and Elevate TV or whichever other. So when you sit with the business graduate, you know what will happen? Mm-hmm. They will listen to UDA news and ODM news and the other news, and then when it comes to business news, you know what will happen? Mm-hmm. They'll switch off.
Okay.
They'll just sign out.
Okay.
While that is the place they should be very, very keen, because that is what now aligns to what they went to school to learn.
Okay.
So the idea behind Business Mentorship Society of Kenya was to mentor people, establish a framework that one can create mentors.
Okay. Okay.
So we are mentoring people at SME level, not just so that they succeed, but they also become mentors. Okay. We mentor people at college, universities level, so that they can also become mentors at high school for high school students. Okay. Because in high school we have now working on a framework with the Kenya Private Schools Association. Okay. Our idea is someone who is finishing high school should be able to tell you, especially if they did business, they should be able to tell you, Gigi, this is the shares you can invest in. Okay. They should be able to tell you, and this is something that we are working with the KRA on, to introduce. They should be able to, when you do your returns, yes, they should be able to tell you, now this is how to do it. This is how we upload onto the KRA portal. Okay. Because those are very elementary things. Yes. The work that should have been done by these groups, yes, our business graduates, all that, is being done by the cyber cafe attendant. Okay. Because everyone, unataka pin, nasema, enda wapi? Kwa cyber. I want to apply for this. Go to the cyber. Yes. So how do we create an employment? Because we are talking about employment. There are people who want to give money because they have the need. Yes. They want to do returns. They want someone to apply for them, and especially now that all government services are now under a digital framework. Yes. They want to do all that. So how do you make these people earn? Yes. Even as they look for more jobs. Yes. It is to connect them with these SMEs, because they already have the knowledge now. After the mentorship, yes, they can go doing helping SMEs. Yes. By doing that, what are we doing? Number one, we are helping businesses across board. Okay. Okay. We are helping them establish systems. There's a failure of business systems, like hiring. There are many people who run even successful companies, yes, but if you ask them, what is the legal process of hiring? Okay. Or separation? There are gray areas. Yes, 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 yes. But now when these people are mentored, they're able to execute those parts. Even when they get employed, they're able to execute perfectly. Okay. With coming from a place of knowledge. Okay. Yes.
And I think you are absolutely right, because you're saying that you know, when you look at the business landscape, you know, there are a lot of basic skills. You would say, know the kind of skills you get in college, yes, really, in your business degree or diploma. Yeah. For example, applying for KRA, you know, that's not going to be churned out at the college, or setting up a business, BRS, yes, accessing e-citizen now is a big deal. Yeah. So you're saying that even in those particular skill sets, simple, straightforward skills and operations that are to help a business function properly, you need a group of people that can actually train. Talk about the training of, you called it what? Training of TOF and TOT. Yes. Yeah, training of
trainers and training of facilitators.
Yeah, training of trainers and training of facilitators. Because, so if somebody wants, say like now you're talking about people coming off college.
Yes.
At what point can they hook into the business mentorship program?
Interestingly, we already are in the colleges.
Okay.
We are already plugged in
Okay.
the colleges through the university itself.
Yes.
Or various associations within the universities.
Okay.
We learned it's easy to work with the associations because they have a distinct calendar of their own. They are in charge of what they do. They are in charge of their activities. So instead of, for instance, going to the University of Nairobi to ask how do we work with them,
Yeah.
it is easier to work with the Finance and Investment Students Association of the University of Nairobi.
Okay.
It becomes easier to work with the accounting students. In fact, we just finished a mentorship session with them.
Okay.
So it becomes easy to work with those
already established.
We already
Yes.
So we already do that. So they member themselves to BMSK individually and through the association.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I think yes. You mentioned that when you talk about business mentorship society, you said there are three kinds of membership. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe you can elaborate that so the people can understand. There's college, institution, and individual members.
Yes. So there are three levels of memberships. There are three types of members. One is a learner member.
Okay.
A learner member is there are two types of learner members. One who is a student. We use learners because someone, when you are born, you should be a learner till you exit the earth.
Yes.
So we use learners instead of students.
Yes.
But now we have at learner level we have two classes. One is a student. That person is in university.
Yes.
The other one is someone who has cleared university.
Yes.
They are off college.
All right.
That is the learner registration, learner members.
Okay.
There is number two, institutional members.
Right.
That is colleges, associations, professional associations. I mentioned that we have an ongoing framework that we are developing with NCCK and EAK.
Yes.
Because you see, the church is the biggest platform.
Yes.
For mentorship.
Okay.
These people meet every week.
Yes.
At least twice.
Right.
Because there's a weekly service.
Yes.
The weekday service and the Sunday service.
Yes.
And along the way, there are meetings.
Yes.
There will be a youth meeting here and another meeting there. There's a particular meeting that is meant maybe for SMEs and all that.
Yes.
And I'll maybe give you an example with the youth meeting.
Yes.
In most churches, they will call another pastor from some other church. And while that is good, we believed that there is something more that this group can be given.
All right.
And in that, we talk about what is your purpose for life.
Okay.
How do you discover your purpose? Why were you created?
Right.
Gigi?
Yes.
And that is a very important life's pursuit question.
Okay.
Because if you can get that question right, then you've gotten your life right.
Right.
We talk about self-awareness.
Right.
How do you, who are you? Why do you react the way you react?
Exactly.
Why am I different from you?
So that sense of identity and so sense of identity. So you actually you're saying, so for example, if you're working with a youth, a church program.
Yes.
So you're saying that we need to engage our young people at that level of thinking,
yes,
where we challenging them to think about their purpose,
yes,
to become aware of themselves, to begin now
Absolutely
to take
important.
Responsibility
Yes.
for their own success,
yes,
and step into the arena.
Yes.
And then you're saying, of course, that requires mentorship. It requires a lot of hand holding,
yes,
and then so that then people can get a hold of who they are, and then they can begin to take responsibility Yeah.
And I can tell you, because I have met people in our forums, and because some of these those programs you also share with the SMEs, and these are people who have advanced in age,
Yes.
and they say, oh my God, I wish I had known this when I was younger. And at college level.
Yes.
Because most of the times,
Yes.
and you've seen this in when the national exams come out.
Yeah.
The top student, you can when they get the mic,
Yes.
you can almost predict what they will say.
Yes.
When they're asked, what do you want to become?
Right.
They say a neurosurgeon,
Right.
a dentist,
Yes.
a doctor.
Right.
But do you know, Gigi,
Yes.
they may be their interests, their passions, their natural abilities may be misaligned.
Yes.
So what you will have a very stressed neurosurgeon
Right.
who will not give the best at that place.
Okay.
So can you imagine what would happen with a neurosurgeon who is very stressed? So they will resort to drinking, they will drug abuse and all that. So
Yes.
when someone understands, and especially a young person,
Yeah.
begins to understand what is it that how can I match my natural abilities with my career?
That is a huge question. That's a huge question. Danielton, Mwaka here, he's the chair of the Business Mentorship Society of Kenya, and as you can tell, he has a wealth of experience and exposure. Very, very passionate about like helping people find their natural better. And we're going to come to the issue of entrepreneurship and the different types of entrepreneurs. Yes. And why of the set. Yes. You told me how there are some people who think they are entrepreneurs or even misunderstand what entrepreneurship is. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you follow this conversation, we are talking about business mentorship, and my guest has lots of experience. A former banker, he's been involved with working with businesses, SMEs across the board, and very passionate about helping young people in universities and colleges and other institutions, including churches, where you have your church youth program, and so you can do more than just mentoring the youth, of issues to do with relationship. You can do more than that. You can take the conversation further. So please join us and let's hear what you're learning. And if you would like to connect with Danielton, Mwaka, and connect with your youth group, actually your association, the church, various groups that you have in church, they can actually sign up for business mentorship membership, either as individuals or as a group, and then you can actually get connected to the right mentors. Whether you're talking about KRA, starting a new business, all those little things that really matter in terms of the business arena. Very, very important. And thank you for those of you that are following this conversation. Bliss Properties are following from Nairobi, and good work, Danielton. I think these are some of your friends. Rach Africa, Rax Brooks Africa, they are following this conversation. James Mbogwa is watching, man of God. Keep watching. So Danielton, I really like the idea that young people need to be guided. Let's go and let's talk about, before we go to the break, let's talk about business and entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And you laid out, off the set when we were talking about it, and you said that we need to understand there is a very big difference between being a businessman and being an entrepreneur. Yes. So I think you need to break that down, because this is one of those things that is very confusing. Yes. Yes, talk about that.
Yes, there are two. You can be a businessman, successful, of course.
Yes.
But entrepreneurship is a different cup of coffee.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship is looking at the market, looking at your environment. It can be geographical, it can be any other demographic. Mm-hmm. Identifying a need that is not satisfied.
Okay. Creating
a product and then launching that product into the market. One thing about entrepreneurship is unpredictability because of the newness of that matter.
Okay.
that idea. The other thing is high risks.
Okay.
Because you are trying out some. In fact, the product you develop, when in entrepreneurship we call it an MVP, minimum viable product.
Right.
I probably saw that people need a cup. People need something to put water in. So I'll go out, try to create something. I could carve it first because I'm shooting in the dark. So I could carve something from a tree, a stem, and then that is now a minimum viable product. When I get that minimum viable product, I'll take it to the market.
Okay.
And I'll keep looking at feedback. What are people saying about this? So I will, after a while, I will look at the feedback. I will go back, do two things. One, do I continue with this as it is?
Yes.
Number two, what do I need to improve?
Okay.
Or do I abandon it altogether?
Okay.
By the way, in entrepreneurship, it is okay. We always say it is okay to change course. It's called pivoting.
Yes.
It's always okay to pivot.
All
you
right.
can change course. You don't have to keep doing it if it is not working.
Okay. Okay.
And then once you've started making that cup, someone will look at it and say, this is something I can copy.
Yes.
And in business they say imitation is just as profitable as innovation.
Okay.
So someone will say, this guy made something, I can do it. So they will copy what you have done.
I think I want
to
I want to pick that imitation is as profitable as
innovation.
As innovation, I think that's very amazing, Bwana Mwaka, because I think you're absolutely right. So once you go into the market with this new product, you must be ready that people are going to imitate that.
Yes.
And
the person who imitates is not an entrepreneur.
Okay.
You are the entrepreneur who began.
Yes.
The person who imitates is just a trader, a business person.
All right.
Yes. So entrepreneurship is purely going for, you can begin a new niche. For instance, you can serve a new need. Like, for instance, we had all these companies in telcos,
yes,
giving us telephones for calling and all that. But Safaricom came up with M-Pesa. That was a revolution.
Yes.
So an innovation, that is entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And do you know Safaricom was a department within Telecom Kenya?
Yeah, I understand so.
Yes. And now, because of the mindset, they even pulled out, because of the entrepreneurial mindset, they couldn't work within the government red tape.
Yes.
So they pulled out. And that new environment was now fertile for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And that is what you've seen. They have been trailblazing, pathfinding in so many other ways. Equity Bank, our own, looked at something that no one else was doing. A building society then they eat the market. Before anyone learns what they're doing, they've gone. Now, there's also something else. The flip side is not understanding that you can be overtaken by the change.
Yes.
And we have a local example.
Yes.
In fact, there is an international example and a local example.
Yes.
The international example is one of Kodak. Many
Yes.
people know it.
Yes.
One of, I think he was called Stephen, went to the boss and told him, we need to invent something that looks like this, that has digital parts and all that in our camera. And they said, no, we don't need that for now. In fact, that you can develop on your own department and see.
Yes.
You see, now later they were overcome. So you face, when you don't have that entrepreneurial mindset and you don't change, you face what we call a blockboard.
Yes.
The same thing with our own example here, Everready.
Yes.
Everready continued producing torch batteries.
Yes.
Long after each one of us has a phone.
Yes.
And that phone has a torch.
Yes.
So why should I go buy a torch and then go and buy an expensive battery again for that? So they didn't see it coming.
Absolutely. I'm going to hold you. All right. Amazing. So we are talking about entrepreneurship, and mentorship in particular. I tell you, this is an amazing conversation, and Danielton Mwaka here is a very, very well resourceful gentleman, and you don't want to miss this conversation. So we're going to take a short break. Once we come back, when we come back, we'll come back to this conversation. Don't go away. Keep it locked here on Elevate TV, and let's enjoy this conversation. Mentorship, it's happening right here, and I believe that you're going to learn a lot. So a quick break, then we come back.
Gathering of Men Conference 2024, hosted by Apostle David Juma.
So everywhere in the city, as revival was moving on, people are getting saved, looking for work, finding work, and becoming hard workers.
At Life Church International, Kenya Cinema Plaza, along Moi Avenue, Nairobi. In the spirit of the kingdom man as written in Genesis 41:38 and Daniel 5:11, we summon you to join the ranks of the chosen, to rise as warriors of faith and champions of righteousness. And guest minister, Bishop Jackson Kingori of Nehemiah Gospel Church, Dallas, Texas, USA.
We get caught up in a flurry of so many things that we forfeit and forget God wants us to walk with Him.
Heed this clarion call with urgency. March 8th to 10th. Sessions begin from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. on Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. This conference will be live on Elevate TV and on Life Church International's Facebook and YouTube pages. Gathering of Men Conference 2024, where legends are born, destinies are forged, and the kingdom reigns supreme.
All right, welcome back. This is the Monday Morning Digest. We are having a conversation here on mentorship, business mentorship in particular. And before we went to the break, we were talking about how some of the companies fail fantastically. I mean, when they fail to innovate. And, you know, my guest here said something that is very amazing. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, you are at the cutting edge of innovation and creating new paths, you know, seeing the gap in the market and creating solutions. And that is usually the very hard work. And there are then the other people that are kind of imitators, and imitation is really what most businesses are in. You know, most businesses are just doing business or other services that other people pioneered. And so I think there is a lot of space for us to be in business. You don't have to manufacture shoes, you can just distribute them. Yes. And you know, Bwana Mwaka, that needs to be said, especially to our young people. I think there is a sense in which when we teach entrepreneurship, or when we think about SMEs and go do your own business, you know, hustle, sometimes people don't quite appreciate. It can be as simple as distribution.
Yes.
Whether you're distributing used items, for example, the used clothing, shoes market in this country is absolutely robust. It's a multi-billion shilling business. So there's no question about it. There's nothing wrong or shameful about the business. It is viable. It is meeting a need, isn't it? And so you're saying our young people do not need to be ashamed to jump into that business and get on with it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So let's go back to talking about, I can say, talking about, again, we were talking about the entrepreneurs and the link between, you know, how sometimes because of lack of innovation, some organizations have failed. So let's take that forward, and let's talk about some of the things that you know, some of the principal tenets of being successful in business, because you're a business mentor. So we can't leave this show until we have at least given people a few things to take away. With. So you've talked about first what an entrepreneur does and what most businesses do, which is actually basically riding on that. Yes. Then let's take that conversation further.
Yes. So if you want to validate your idea,
right,
you may have a very good idea and you're thinking, do I go on? Is it a good one? So there are basic things to look at.
Right.
The first thing you need to think about is, what is my value proposition?
Okay.
I thought about a cup in my previous example. This cup is not just a cup.
Right.
It's not just a cup.
Yes.
If I go to the market and say I'm selling a cup, that is not a value proposition.
Right.
It's just a core product. This is the ad part of the product. So I need to think about the value proposition. What is this person am I giving? What am I giving them? And I'll give common examples so that we just out and then we come in.
Yes.
Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola was thinking about its products,
yes,
you will never hear Coca-Cola say they are selling soda,
right,
or they sell water.
Yes.
Don't. The value proposition is we sell refreshment.
Yes.
So the value proposition has to be more than a product.
Okay.
So number one, what is your value proposition?
Okay.
How do you can you define it?
Right.
If I met you at an elevator and you have 5 seconds, can you explain it? If you cannot explain it 5 seconds, then probably you are not very clear on it.
Okay.
Number two, what are the customer segments do I want to serve? And there are three things around segmentation. There is segmentation, there is targeting, and then there is positioning.
Okay.
In segmentation, you look at this cup. How many people need a cup?
Right.
There are people in Kileleshwa that need a cup.
Right.
There are people in Mathare that need a cup.
Right.
There are people in the CBD that need a cup.
Okay.
So some people need it for the basic features.
Yes.
Others need it for the prestige value of it.
Yes, others actually, by the way, collect cups.
Yes.
And put them in shelves.
Yes.
Especially every time you issue a cup, especially a branded cup.
Yes.
I hear there's somebody who collects those cups and puts them in his shelf for show. Yes. So there's somebody who actually will only use the cup for show. Of course, except his favorite mug of coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is what Apple, when they wanted to manufacture phones, they thought, Steve Jobs said, I want us to do a phone that when you look at it, you want to kiss it.
Okay.
Because that is, when you think about the aesthetics, the value in, that is how we thought about the value proposition.
Okay.
Coca-Cola thought that. Safaricom does not sell airtime or M-Pesa.
Yes.
It sells something called connectivity. So someone should think about that.
The value proposition is connectivity.
The connectivity. So then we go to segmentation. Out of these markets, which are many.
Yes.
And because of resource constraints, you may not serve every market.
Okay.
You need to look at what are the features of every market. That is number one. Segment them. Look at, there are guys in Runda, they need, some of them are collectors. Some of them use this. There are guys in town center. Some of them are running around, so they want something basic. There are people in our slums. They need something even more than basic, something that barely minimum, the bare minimum.
Yeah, the mama who goes around selling hot uji. He needs just those metal cups.
Yes.
And they are very popular, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a certain cup which you take tea or uji with, and it's amazing. Yeah, so that's the kind of cup they need.
Yes. So after you segment, you do another thing. You target.
Yes.
This is based on these characteristics. This is the targeting I want to. This is the market I want to target.
Okay.
And then thirdly, you position. So what do I tell them? What is exciting to them on this? Then when you think about that, think about another thing. The channels. How will I get this thing to this market? And in that one, you realize if your business can create other businesses, along the way who will help you to make money.
All right.
And I'll give you 2 examples.
Yes.
The reason why Safaricom and probably Equity
Yes.
are very successful today
Yes.
is because they've created a model of agents.
Okay.
So these guys are the agents, wake up very early
Yes.
to go make money for themselves,
Yes.
but they are making money for Safaricom by extension.
All right.
So are you making all the money are you doing all the work by yourself?
Right.
Or do you have other people on board?
Okay.
The more you have other people on board, you better be making small money over a volume than a big profit over one product that you will take long to sell.
Absolutely. I think, you know, Mr. Mwaka, you know, you are an amazing entrepreneur and business mentor. Those of you that are following this conversation, I tell you, you want to listen to Mr. Mwaka. And I think, Daniel, I think what we'll do is, so we need to have this kind of continuous conversation.
Sure.
And we want to assure our people that, yes, you can find the right mentors. And sometimes maybe it's just a 2-hour program,
Yes.
maybe a number of days or a number of once a week or once a month. And actually you can really hone very high value skills. You know, like the kind of things you are describing. You go and do your bachelor's in business, but you still don't get some of these little nitty-gritties about how business works. So I really like what you're sharing. And Joe Wisdom Talks Rua here is saying, great topic, Sir Gigi. I like your passion for entrepreneurship. Your guest is a resource watching from UK. I mean, Uko Kimbo. Oh my goodness. So it's not exactly the
kingdom.
You know, United Kingdom, but it's yeah. So watching from yeah, you know, so from UK. So thank you so much. This is wow. Rach Brooks Africa is saying, wow, what is my value proposition? I like that. You know, value proposition and stuff like that. So I didn't want to cut you short. I think there are many other things. So you're saying you have your segmentation, which then helps you define your targets and
how you position your
and
product.
your position.
What do you tell them?
Okay.
What do you tell this people
Absolutely.
about your product?
Then you have the distribution, the channels, how you work
about
them
that.
out.
Yes. And then you think about how do you manage customer relationships.
Okay.
Because that's very, very important.
Okay.
There are many things. You'd be very surprised if you look at customer service statistics. Mm-hmm. You realize that we lose customers. Why do we lose customers? 4% relocate.
Yes.
5% go to other substitutes. Mm-hmm. 9% go to competitors. 14% are not satisfied with the product. Mm-hmm. But do you know, 68% are turned away by bad attitudes.
Okay.
Yes. So how do you manage customer relationships? Mm-hmm. And this needs to be written. Mm-hmm. And you know, as you were saying, mentorship sometimes is not even telling you, mm-hmm. it is asking you, mm-hmm. saying, can you go and think about A, B, C, D? And then I had not thought about this thing.
Yes.
And then you think about your revenue streams. Mm-hmm. How do you make money? Number one, at what point do you make money? If your competitors are making money before giving the product,
right,
and you're making money after you have issued the product, then you are at a competitive disadvantage.
Yes.
For instance, to your airtime,
yes.
you have to have it before. You have to pay. Prepay.
Yes.
So if someone else comes with a model that is majorly post,
yes.
then he'll be at a disadvantage unless there is another compensating factor. Yes. That gives him volumes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me jump into that because you've just reminded me something. Econet, the guys, the Zimbabwean
yes.
guys who pioneered, they were way ahead of, in the mobile technology.
Yeah.
What distinguished them, what made them very unique is, they were coming from the West,
yes.
Europe and all that. They were the pioneers, actually. The Zimbabwean mobile company was the pioneer here in Africa. What they discovered is that we cannot do business like the Europeans
yes.
and the people in Germany, US and all that. Yeah. They introduced prepaid.
Yes.
you know, the mobile prepaid service where you pay a few shillings and then you call. Once you exhaust, you pay. Do you know Europe and the West has only introduced prepaid recently? They were always on the postpaid model, because that's the old model. So what you're actually describing is very, very powerful. It's a very powerful example of how you have to think about how you make your money.
Yes, and Econet would have made a lot of strides in Kenya.
Yes.
But when they were coming, I realized kind of there was a political blockade of sorts.
Yes, I know. And in fact, some guys refused to allow them in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the matter of charges, by the way, they need to move faster with and understanding the market, the place of segmentation. I'll also give something on the mobile telephone sector.
Yeah.
Airtel.
Yes.
At some point was ahead of Safaricom.
Okay.
In terms of technology, they had like a first flight advantage.
Okay.
But what happened? Two mistakes they made. One was a segmentation issue.
Okay.
They thought that mobile telephony will be a niche kind of product.
Okay.
Yet it was a mass market.
Okay. Okay.
So their airtime was you'd only buy at 600. Then Safaricom noticed there is need to serve the lower guys. So
Yes.
they came 250. 100 when these guys were still stuck at that.
At 600, all right.
At 600.
Okay.
Safaricom went to per second billing.
Yes.
Airtel was still stuck at per minute billing. You know, when someone says hello on the other end, then the all that those days it was like 60 bob. So many people moved. So as an entrepreneur, because there are four types of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
In terms of, there are small business entrepreneurs. There are large business entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Like I can just speak to, like I find Equity very entrepreneurial. There is an entrepreneurial streak in them.
Okay.
If you go to them, if you go to Equity today, and maybe in another bank, and introduce the same idea, the Equity guys will probably call you back and ask you, okay, what were you saying? Before that other bank, because they have, over time, the culture.
Right.
The business culture has been about entrepreneurship, new ideas, all that. Safaricom as well. And Safaricom knew from onset, we do not just want to become a telco, a telecommunication company, a phone, all that. They have been a technology company. And that is why they beat everyone else. Okay. Because they have, their product offering is very well rounded.
So let's go back to the four types of entrepreneurs. So there is the small
business, and the big business. There are the scalable startups, and that has been a very rich ground, by the way, here in Kenya. There are 3 countries: Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa.
Okay.
We've done very well in those scalable startups.
Okay.
There are many examples, by the way, but the aspect of risk, because they are in a very new environment.
Yes.
I can give you one. Actually, I can give you around 4 companies that have had headwinds, even after raising a lot of money. Today, Trigger Foods.
Yes.
Last year, downsized around over 20% of their staff.
Okay.
Do you know how much money they had raised? 23.4 billion in venture capital.
Okay.
There's one that was called WeFarm. WeFarm had raised 4.7 billion.
Okay.
They have, I think they have gone
quiet. Okay.
Sandy, you are seeing Sandy around, which was a logistics company. I think they've gone under 3.6 billion. Kun, which was a food supply company.
Yes.
100 million. Gearbox, 730 million. So, because many people outside Africa have been able to see, especially in the technology space.
Yes.
The technology space and the agribusiness space have received a lot of funding of late. And because of that,
because of the whole idea of scalability. Yeah,
yes.
so we can start off a very small thing, and this thing can explode and dominate Africa. So
Yes.
that's usually the proposition.
Yes, and number 4,
Yeah.
they are innovative entrepreneurs.
Okay,
This come come up with something that is disruptive
Okay.
on the market. Actually, there are two. Innovation can be twofold. One, disruptive. The other one is sustaining.
Okay.
Like for instance, M-Pesa was a disruptive technology.
Yes.
Fuliza is a sustaining innovation because it is built on the M-Pesa platform.
Okay.
So it sustains. It helps to sustain the other.
Absolutely. I love this. We are talking about business mentorship, and you have to permit the fact that we are giving you very live examples. We are actually giving you examples of local companies. We are not afraid to mention them, although they haven't paid us for the advertising them. But clearly, I think Danielton, this is a conversation we need to have, and so there is a lot of wealth. There is a wealth of information that is out here. And if you find the right mentors, you will be able to be mentored, trained. The Business Mentorship Society of Kenya offers training for facilitators and training of trainers, and of course, individual member, learners.
Yes.
So you can join the society and then get to connect with the various training forums.
Yes.
And do you also do conferences?
Yes, we do conferences. And once you're a member, you just fish out your card and you walk into the conference.
Wow.
And I forgot to mention, I said learner members, institutional members, and there was a third one, the Friends of BMSK.
Okay.
Friends of BMSK are a group of people. You think there's something you can offer to push forward.
Yes.
The entrepreneurship course, the mentorship course. Maybe you have a skill, maybe you have resources. That is where partners, we have partners, we have institutional partners. Like I said, offset earlier, we are working with the KRA.
All right.
Nakada, Maendeleo ya Wanawake. Yeah, there are many.
Almost every institution and every partner, you can sign up and bring them on board, because you want to make sure that everyone is actually
taking a part.
talking about entrepreneurship. Yes. By the way, you mentioned a little bit. How would you be in partnership with KRA? A lot of people these days, they are really so. There's a lot of concern about, KRA. Everybody thinks that KRA basically is adversarial in its outlook, while actually they are really very useful business partners. Yes. They want you to succeed, right? Yes. So maybe you can mention a little bit about that.
Yes, and the reason, actually, you've just mentioned why we partnered with them.
Yes.
The reason is, one, people have seen them as a bloodhound, as some people who are just chasing us around. Yet, our tax framework, by its very nature, has been one of the principles of a good tax system is fairness and equity.
Okay.
But our tax system has not been fair to some people. And I'll give you an example. There's someone in Githurai market, because there's not been a framework to bring in the informal businesses, the informal. And KRA is doing a good job. Sometimes they are misunderstood, but they are over and above. They're doing a very good job. Now, there's someone in Githurai market for demonstration sake.
Yeah,
that person makes $1 million. They're a big wholesaler, all that. They're doing a lot. They're making millions from that market.
Okay.
Because they bring in their merchandise, all that. Do you know how much they pay in tax? Maybe 50 bob per day.
Okay.
Yet they're taking home millions.
Yes.
There's someone who is a mechanic, for instance.
Yeah.
Who is making money, a lot of money, but when you go there, you pay him 10,000. You send him on his M-Pesa, all that.
And all that, yes.
Now, that person, that money is not the income tax. He doesn't pay income tax.
Yes.
There is someone else That now is one group. There's someone else who is as a receptionist.
Yes.
Employed at Elevate TV.
Okay.
But because the system is formal, they are paid 25,000 just for demonstration sake.
Yeah.
But by 9th of every month,
Yes.
that 25,000 is the payee has to go to KRA.
Yes.
The mechanic is making 70,000, 100,000.
Yes.
Doesn't pay anywhere.
Yes.
Yet, those guys that are coming to Githurai market, the mechanic, they are using the road that has been made using the taxes of your receptionist.
Yes.
Don't you see that is unfair? So one of the things we are doing
Yes.
is try to bring SMEs on board. Tell them this thing is doable. Number one is to break the mystery around taxation.
Okay.
You know, today if you go to Roysambu
Okay.
with a KRA car,
Okay.
just stop it somewhere.
Yes.
Do you know what will happen?
Uh-huh.
People will close shops.
Okay.
And they will run. They say, oh, KRA is around.
Yes.
KRA has come.
Yes.
Even the person who is compliant.
Yes.
They will, why? Because they think na wakipata kuna kitu ingine.
You know, if they
that
find
mystery,
there is a receipt missing.
that mystery around taxation
Yes.
needs to be broken so that we can have a country that is self-sustaining.
Okay.
And for that reason, because of our students, our learners, we are training them on these matters.
Yes.
They go train other people, train SMEs, onboard them, because eventually they will be onboarded. They will need someone to onboard them.
Okay.
Even the farmers in Muranga who are chasing KRA officials,
Yes.
they will need to be onboarded.
Yes.
So there is a university student from that area, and because they know him,
Yes.
they will say, huyu ni mtoto wa Mama Kamau.
Yes.
So akuja atueleze. So when mtoto wa Mama Kamau explains,
Yes.
it will not look like now KRA has come down
with
on us.
guns and policemen.
With gun on us.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's the whole idea of misunderstanding.
Yes.
Sometimes I kind of, because of my conservative way of thinking, I actually think that sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot, because on one hand, we are very keen to say, look, this government must succeed. You know, we are sinking into debts and stuff like that.
Sure.
On the other hand, the government is doing its best to expand its revenue base.
Absolutely.
Not stealing people's money, but actually genuinely persuading Kenyans of goodwill to rally, so that then we can build our republic for the good of those same people we are saying who need to be employed. So I think you have a very, very big point, and I really I'm very, very
But I like what government is doing, just forcing it on us.
Yes.
You know, there is a principle in management.
Yes.
That is called for the people despite the people.
Yes.
You do what is right for them,
Yes.
even when they don't like it.
Okay.
Because one day they will look back and say, oh, by the way, this was good. When Lee Kuan Yew, we
Yes.
say Singapore was, when Lee Kuan Yew was transforming Singapore, people
Yes.
then never liked him. He was one of the most unpopular people. Kagame has been unpopular. Kibaki was unpopular, but when we look back, we say, by the way, this happened during Kibaki time. But he was so unpopular at some point, we almost fought a big war in here.
Yeah. By the way, we actually wanted to, get rid of him after he did his 5 years, and it was only by fluke that actually he got through to his.
For the people, despite the people.
For the people, despite the people. So, and I think that's the principle of governance.
Yes.
So, for example, the current president is actually whipping Kenyans, for their own good.
For their own good.
But we don't like him because, after all, he's chasing our cattle tax. So he's anyway. So Daniel, I'm very, very happy that you came along to open up. As you can tell, we can't quite cover everything.
Sure.
But I think the bottom line is our people need mentorship. Businesses need mentors.
Absolutely.
And the Business Mentorship Society of Kenya is actually available. It's a platform. So I think you need to tell people, if somebody now wanted to join, do you have a website? Do you have an office? How can people reach business mentorship? And how do they connect? So beyond, yes, you need to give that kind of information.
Yes, we have a website. In this digital era, we have made things as seamless as possible.
Okay.
You don't even, although we have an office, you don't even need to come to office.
Okay.
So BMSK and bmsk.org,
Okay.
and then you say join.
Okay.
When you go to the place of joining, there are
Yes.
three. It will tell you either a learner registration, institutional registration, or a friend of BMSK.
Okay.
And then just fill in your information, upload your photo. We will call you, tell you your ID is ready. Come and collect it in the office. We are based at Koinange Street. There's a building called Uniafric House.
Okay.
Uniafric House is the house that is opposite Koinang Consolidated Bank.
Okay.
It houses Java.
Okay.
And the Airtel
Shop,
sales
yes.
shop.
Yes.
So we are there. You can call us anytime. You can go to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and talk to us.
Okay,
We are very
and that is
available.
BMSK, Business Mentorship Society of Kenya, .org, or just bmsk.org.
Yes.
That's how to link up with Mr. Chairman Mwaka's organization, and then join in the conversation. You know, educate yourself. You know. You have business ideas, you want to learn more. You know, I like the way you have.
And we have brought students on board.
Yes.
In the conversation, even regarding their curriculum.
Okay.
If I know you are a lecturer,
Yes.
if you've taught finance,
Yes.
there's a student who brought a very big, a very interesting conversation to us. And he said, there's something that we've been taught in finance.
Yes.
And when you look at this, I don't think it is applicable.
Yes.
It is just theoretical.
Yes.
It is a lot of maths.
Yes.
So there are several theories. They're called dividend theories.
Yes.
And the assumptions are, number one, that jurisdiction does not have tax. Number two, cost of capital is constant. Three, there is maximum plowback.
Yes.
And when you look at all these things, there is none that is, if you put, they cannot be realistic.
Yes.
So he said, can you train a pilot and say, this will hold as long as there is no gravity? So he said, and we said, okay, this makes sense. We've written to ISPAC, to CASNEB, to Commission for Education, tell them, I mean, there is this in your syllabus. How, tell us something.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like that. So BMSK, Business Mentorship Society of Kenya, is a resource base. And you need to hook up, you need to connect. Daniel Mwaka here, we have run out of time. We got to wrap this up. And in 1 second, I want you to tell our viewers something, a nugget, just a simple nugget in 10 seconds.
There are two ways to learn. And which one, the one you choose determines the kind of person you are. Fools learn through experience, mistakes, pain. Wise people learn through mentorship, instruction. You can choose one. And in every time of your life, you need to ask yourself, who is my mentor and who am I mentoring? That is a framework that is even kingdom-based and humanity-based.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We got to wrap this up. Thank you very much for tuned in to the Monday Morning Digest. I've been your host, Godfrey Gichuki. And I think it's bye for now. We will see you another time. Keep it Elevate TV. Keep watching Elevate. And have a great Monday day. Have a great week. We will see you next week. Same time, same channel. God bless you and bye for now.